Okay, y'all, let's go ahead and go over your work on page 326 and 327 with lines, points, and line segments. So your first section says, identify each as a point, line, or line segment, use symbols. Alright, so for number one, I'm going to look, and I know I just have the little dot and the R, so that automatically tells me that this one is a point, because we know the dot symbolizes just a point on a plane or on a graph. A point, and we would just use the symbol R just because it's a point and it's the only letter that they give us. Okay, and then let's go into number two. So number two, I know would be a line because it has the arrows going out from each of the points, and so that lets me know that that's a line. And how I'm going to use the symbol for this is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to write my letters down that they give me, and then right above the letters, I'm just going to draw a little line with the two arrows at the ends of it. Alright, number three, I know it is a line segment because it just has the 2 points at the end, so that lets me know that it doesn't go any farther than these 2 points. So this would be a line segment. And the way I would use a symbol for that is I'm just going to write my letters down, and then I'm just going to draw one line across. I don't need any dots and I don't need any arrows since it's a line segment. Alright, the next one, it's the same as number two. I see that it has the arrows at the end, so that tells me it's a line. And then I would write my letters down and put my line with the arrows on top of it just like that. Number five, it's a line segment because it has the 2 endpoints at the end of it. Line segment. And then we just do the same thing, our letters, and then I just have one line at the very top of those. Alright, number 6 is a point because I see that has that little dot right there. So, just write point, and then L. Number 7 is a line because I see that it has my arrows, and the symbol for this one would be PQ with the arrow line at the top. Okay, the last one for this section I know is a line segment because it has the 2 endpoints. Just gonna abbreviate that, line segment. I'm gonna do my letters and the line at the cross. So this is the answers for section 1. Alright, let's move on to section 2. Alright. So 9 through 16 says draw and label each. So for this one, it already gives me the symbols. So what I have to do is I have to draw the lines and the points now. So number 9, I have the little line at the top with TV. Now I see I don't have any arrows, so that tells me that it's a line segment. So all I'm going to do is I can draw it like this, and then TV. So that would be for number 9. You can do your line segment like this. Doesn't matter, just as long as it's a straight line and it has the 2 endpoints, the 2 dots at the end of it. Alright, number 10, we just have K, so that automatically tells us that it's just a point. So it would look like that, just your dot with your letter. Number 11, I see that the line above the letters has arrows, so that tells me it is a line. Oh, whoops. There's a line, but I forgot to do my letters. We have ST. Okay, and then number 12. I know it would be a line segment because it does not have the arrows at the end. And I would just put my letters. Alright, number 13 is just a D, so I know that that would just be a point. That's how we're going to write that one. 14, I see that the line at the top has arrows. That tells me it's a line. I'm just gonna label or name a line. 15 is a line segment, because we see that the line doesn't have any arrows at the end of it. So that's how you would draw that one. And then last one, 16 is just Z, so we know that would be a point. So I'll just do my dot, my Z. All right, so that's that section. Let's go on to the next one. 17. Okay, so for this one, you should have circled the correct line. So you should have circled either A, B, C, or D. But for some of them, you can have more than one, just depending on the question or the number. Okay, so if I look at 17, I know A is not a line segment because it's a squiggle, and when you have a line segment or a line, it needs to be a straight line. So A is not one. If I look at B, I know B is a line segment because it's straight and it has the two endpoints, the two dots at the end. If I look at C, no, it's not a line segment. It's a line because it has the arrows at the end of it. And then D, I know, is not a line segment because it's a circle, so that would not be a line segment. Okay, number 18. It's the same thing. A, I know would be a line segment because it's straight and it has the two dots at the end. B would not be a line segment because it has the two arrows at the end, so that lets me know it's a line and not a line segment. C, I know would be a line segment because the same thing, it's straight and it has the two dots at the end. And then D would not be a line segment because it's not straight. It's not a straight line. It's kind of curved, so that wouldn't be a line segment. All right, so let's move on to 19, 20, and 21. So your directions are name each line two ways. So 19, I have my line like this. Okay, so how I'm going to do this is just like you have a name, our lines we know and our points have names because they have letters, just like you have letters in your name. So how I would write this if I was going to name it two different ways is I would draw my symbol for it. So the symbol for a line is the little line arrows at the top with CD. So that's one way. And the other way you would write that, same thing, with a little symbol at the top, and then you would just switch the letters around. And it would just be DC. So that's the two ways that you would write those. For 20, it's the same way. You have a line. My letters are K and L. So I do the same thing. KL, do my little symbol at the top, and then I would just switch the letters around. And then I would do LK. Because the reason you could switch them around is because no matter how you look at it, it's still going to be a line and it's still going to be going the same way. So it doesn't matter how you have your letters written for when you use your symbol. Okay, and then 21, it's the same thing. I'm not going to draw the line, but you would just do your little bitty symbol, RS, and then I just switch my letters around. Let me SR. So that's how you would do 19 through 21. Okay, last section is name each line segment two ways. So it's the same thing, but we're just having line segments. So we have line segment WX. So I'm just gonna draw my symbol for line segment, which is just a line across, and I'm just gonna write WX. And then the same thing, I'm just gonna switch my letters around, and then it'd be XW. So that would be your two ways you would write that one. 23 is the same way. I have line segment ST. So I'm gonna draw my symbol for that. Have ST for one of them, switch my letters around, and then I would have TS. So that's how I'd write those two ways. And then last one We have line segment QR. So same thing. I'm just going to draw my symbol, write my letters, switch my letters around, be RQ now. So those are your answers for 19 through 24. I hope that cleared anything up that you might have had questions on. So that should have been it for that page, and I hope you did a really good job.